I actually never thought I would believe Amazon would have cold sweats in the night, but I think we're seeing that come out, right?
Here's what happens. Amazon has restructured some of its fees, particularly in apparel. There are two major fee changes that they did, in addition to sort of lowering and adding some fulfillment fees. One is items that are less than $15. So apparel fees are generally 17%, like kind of across the board. And so if it's less than $15, then actually they went from 17% to 5%. Which is a pretty crazy reduction. And then if the item is between $15 and $20, they probably are. If it's actually went from 17% to 10%. Why else would Amazon do something like this on its own? Is Amazon losing its shine?
Amazon has got this apparel strategy. It really started with like socks and underwear, right? That's where they were getting traction. They wanted to go more upmarket and get luxury. And then people caught on that you just need to sell some $10 black dresses. And we had this problem at eBay too. And then the marketplace gets flooded. Why is able to come in and do this so quickly? Was it the reach with influencers? Is it just their model where they can quickly kind of be more on trend and Amazon doesn't control the supply chain as much? What are you thinking, Kathy?
Well, to answer your question about Shein, why were they so successful? They create 6,000 new products a day.
Yeah.
So they're very in tune with the influencer and with their end consumers on predominantly social media. So I think the first thing is they have the product right. They're able to react to trends, react to things that are in the, on TV or pop culture, streaming, and make the product. And you're right, Jess, it's the supply chain too that they control. However, I think this is such a smart move by Amazon because I've seen this firsthand where Amazon can change consumers' behavior. 10 years ago, I worked for a furniture mattress brand, and we were selling compressed mattresses online at Amazon, and Amazon made it very lucrative for us to do that. Why? Because then consumers started to change their mindset that they didn't need to go to the local department store to buy their mattress anymore, that they could actually buy a mattress and have it shipped compressed. And I think they're doing the same here with apparel. They've got to drop those fees so that sellers are motivated to put their products up onto Amazon. Consumers will start to have that behavior and go, to your point, Jess, buy that $10 dress on Amazon. And there's enough profit for everybody. But then, of course, we know where this is headed, right? In the next several years, when everybody's addicted to buying fashion on Amazon, that's when they're really going to put it to the sellers and everybody's margins are going to get squeezed. Yeah. But for now, they've got to drop those prices to motivate these sellers who are in these entry price point categories to actually go through the pain of being a seller on Amazon.
Yeah.
Where all the customers are, by the way.
Exactly. I mean, Linda brings up a great point though, because we're talking about the fees here, but the FBA fees are a whole other part of the Amazon ecosystem that Shein doesn't really have to worry about as much, or maybe even a marketplace seller on Shein doesn't have to worry about as much because it's just directly shipped. Will they restructure FBA next?
Well, who knows? I think Linda brings up the absolute perfect point, right? It's the supply chain. Any product under $15 in retail in the United States it's just almost impossible to be profitable selling it with the shipping costs.
Right.
But with that said, Jess, I don't know how profitable it is to ship cross border. I mean, I know they don't have the duty because they're under a certain price point, but there's got to be margin pressures on that side too. But I think your point is a valid one. Maybe we'll see Amazon testing some things with their FBA and bringing those prices down to make it accessible for these sellers in the apparel category.
One of the things that people forget is FBA obviously was originally created to level the playing field for sellers and smooth out the consumer experience. But over the last 10, 15 years, who dominated on Amazon third party? Chinese sellers. 100%. And this was at a time when they didn't have to ship. They couldn't ship overseas because the product wouldn't get there for 2 to 3 weeks, which didn't happen, which you couldn't have a good consumer experience. Amazon FBA kind of leveled that playing field. Chinese sellers, which were the fastest growing segment on Amazon, were all using FBA. Now you can go from Hong Kong, China to any doorstep in the world in 5 days.
That is the loophole that is being used right now by Shein and Temu. It's the small partial international rules that are ultimately enabling what's happening with Shein. And maybe then Amazon does get the upper leg